I think we have to be aware of an escalation of the rhetoric of President Putin. We have to take that into account, but we should not be too afraid about that. I think we have to very seriously analyze the situation, but we should not be blackmailed by Putin's threats.
Do you agree with President Macron, who has said that he wouldn't launch any retaliatory nuclear attack if Russia were to use nuclear weapons?
I think the most sensible way to approach it was by President Biden to say very clearly to the Russians that any use of nuclear weapons would have catastrophic consequences.
Germany has just sent air defense systems, which have been welcomed by Ukraine. But the Ukrainians have also been critical of Germany and said that you didn't necessarily respond quickly enough when weapons were asked for.
Yeah, I think it's not helpful. We are not in a race about who delivers what first.
Well, they are.
I think they need support and they're getting the support. I think it's very important to underline that. You don't see American combat tanks in Ukraine. You don't see British. But we have a discussion all the time about Germany. And that's why we say, let's act in a coordinated way.
But it is having an impact on the West, on all of us, in all of the countries that are involved, albeit indirectly, in the fighting, particularly when it comes to energy. Do you think that Germany was over-reliant on Russian energy supplies?
There was definitely an over-reliance. I think there is no doubt about it. And the lesson we have to learn from that is that we need to strengthen our resilience, not only on energy, but in all other aspects.
Do you worry that that could push the German economy into recession?
Yeah, it's very likely that Germany will go into recession. The IMF just published their forecast, and I think many countries are going to have a very difficult economic time ahead.
I want to change tack slightly because you are not new in the job, but you've not been here for a huge amount of time and a lot has happened. Do you see Liz Truss's premiership as a reset moment, if you like?
Yeah, maybe reset is too much, but at least there is a willingness to re-engage. And I think that is very positive.
Does then the political uncertainty that's unfolding over the course of the last week concern you?
Obviously, we are following that very closely, and I think the key concern is how that is going to affect financial markets overall. There is a certain nervousness, not only in the United Kingdom. We have seen that the Federal Reserve has, earlier than the European Central Bank or the Bank of England, increased interest rates. That has an effect on all of us. So I think the key challenge now is to calm international markets.
And how is the UK, in terms of the economy, seen outside of this country by others looking in?
Yeah, the United Kingdom is and continues to be a strong economy. There is no doubt about it. I think what is a challenge now is how we can cooperate among the G7 in order to maintain calm at the international financial markets.
Do you think the Prime Minister and the Chancellor are doing a good job of that?
You know, what is seen, I would say, with some concern in Germany is that what we all are doing is try to get inflation under control through the central bank. But what is challenging is if at the same time there are measures like tax breaks, which then might fuel inflation. I think this is seen with some worry from Berlin.
You mentioned those tax cuts there and the questions and the difficulty about some of the things that Liz Truss has said. She might call you the anti-growth coalition.
I think we all want growth and we want to get out of recession as soon as possible. But we have to do all of that in a responsible way.
So you must welcome the suggestion today that some of those tax cuts could be reversed or at least delayed.
We are looking forward to all the decisions which might be taken in the coming days.
You were at the Conservative Party conference. What was the mood like there for you?
It was an interesting mood for me. It was the first time that I went there, and maybe it came at a very difficult moment. Obviously, with the start of the new government, all the turbulences at the markets. But for us and for me, what was really important beyond this other parts is that there is this willingness to re-engage on Northern Ireland.
And just finally, there is now conversation about replacing Liz Truss as the Prime Minister. What do you say to that?
we don't say anything to that. We observe the situation, we speak with the British government, but these are really decisions that have to be taken in the United Kingdom.